Happy Monday, everybody. Laurie-Ann here, and today we are talking about how to thrive while in lockdown. And lots going on in the world, and I just want to share some really good tips and tools that you can be using right now, especially since you're probably wearing more hats than you were a month ago, like referee, cook, housekeeper, chief entertainment officer, and maybe even homeschooling your kids depending on how old they are. I do want to share this in my group, but I just it's just an important time, and it's really full of a lot of uncertainty. And what we're craving as human beings is to have certainty and to be able to feel that safety net. So where we can't control things, I think it's really good to be able to find the areas that we can control things. So let me just share this especially in my private Facebook group, where they might be all hanging out. And if you're not in my private Facebook group, you gotta get on over there. It's called Entrepreneurs Making an Impact. And it is where all the great things are happening. I'll share that right over there. And then I'm also going to join me now. So sorry about all that. And in case we haven't met, I'm Laurie-Ann Mirabito, your host tonight. I am a reformed, painfully shy girl who accidentally became a professional speaker, speaking in the leadership arena. From there, I ended up now I'm doing business coaching. I have decided to combine my obsession with business and my love for speaking and bringing them both together. And today I help my clients utilize the numerous forms of online speaking and podcast speaking to build their business. So let's just kind of get started with this. This is a really interesting time. And I'm on, I think it's essentially week 5. Now I've, essentially been home. The very first week, there was very little outside activity. And I'm just really going to the store just for, groceries or blood work like I had to do today. And I just happened to call my chiropractor earlier today just because I was kind of checking on them just to see if they were still open. And he is going to be most likely closing his office and just having it open one day a week, which I think is fabulous. Just being able to still offer services, limited amount of services. But let me just get comfortable here. But it's just a weird time. There's never been this kind of a weird time, but how does this relate to how we are working, our businesses? And the reason why I wanted to really talk about this particular topic is because I'm hearing from a lot of people, both friends, family, but also my clients, about how they're overwhelmed and a little anxious, and they've got all these family is at home, so it's where do I find the time? How do I work on my business? How do I, maybe I went from my corporate office and now I'm working at home, but I've had this side hustle, and now I see this big internet boom that is about to happen, and how do I make this all work for myself? And I totally get that. And that's why I wanted to share what I've been doing personally, what I've been sharing with my clients, because I think that you'll benefit from all of this. Number 1, how can you spoil yourself? And so I'm not using let's get more self-care in there, but how can we actually spoil ourselves? So it doesn't mean it has to be something great and big, because obviously there's no trips to the spa these days, or even just to get a manicure, we've got to do them at home. But how can you spoil yourself so that it's something that, one, you look forward to? It's a treat. It's something that you intentionally, one, you're making the decision about that this is how I'm going to spoil myself today or this week, and you show up and you are fully present in that moment. So what could that be? So I was actually sharing with my sister about this earlier today, and that this is what I was going to be talking about. And she said having bacon. Having bacon today was something that she used as something that she spoiled herself with. But it could be a walk outside, like I'm looking outside and it's actually gorgeous. I managed to go to the chiropractor's office, so that could be like a little moment of like I was taking care of myself, but I'm also spoiling myself because it's going to make my body feel good. Could be like, tea or snagging this is what I also did today, snagging a couple of pieces of chocolate, that were really yummy, but just really enjoying them. Maybe you do your own manicure or your own pedicure. Lots of people are doing their hair at home these days. Mine has gotten like really, really long. Almost wish that I had gotten the haircut beforehand, but no big worries. I mean, I actually have scissors. It wouldn't be the first time that I've cut my hair. And I've, kind of like shared with some other people. I'm knowing some clients and also some friends who are cutting their husband's hair, as well. But it's about also just, again, let's go back to we want to spoil ourselves. I want it to be a treat. I want it to be something that you really look forward to, whether that's daily or maybe it's a big spoil, like once a week. Just want to say hello to, how are you? Geraldine. Geraldine, how are you tonight? I hope you are well. Where are you coming in from today? Where are you watching? And let's see, let me just remove that. I'm like playing around with my eCam these days. And let's see. Sandy says, I bought some body butter that I love, but you usually don't buy it for yourself. So that is a huge treat that you did for yourself. So I love that. So again, like how can we spoil ourselves? By the way, Sandy, I got your book today in the mail. So that's going to be part of my treat is that Sandy's book is, where is it? Right here. I'm going to give a little plug for your book, Sandy. Change Your Perspective. Is this not needed right now? Change your perspective, change your life. 52 inspiring ways for you to take action. So imagine, even if you just read a chapter a day or, to get us through this particular time, because Lord knows, I hope it's not 52 weeks that we're going to be in lockdown. It's not going to, by the way. I do have some connections with the healthcare industry. But let's go on. Number 2, double down on your mindset. Double down on your mindset. Are you a journaler? Let me know if you journal. Super curious to how many people that are on the live right now, or if you're watching the replay, do hashtag replay and let me know, do you journal? Do you journal first thing in the morning or do you journal at night? Like I know some people who journal both. And if you're doubling down on your mindset, journaling just before you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning are fabulous ideas. So here's why they're fabulous ideas. Because remember, I'm like this neuroscience geek. I just love how our brains work. But when we wake up in the morning, that's when our brains are nice and fresh. If you can think of like your brains, our brains as like a filing system, it will go through, and this is like the easiest way to explain this. It goes through like all of our memories for the day and almost like files them. The things that we need, that we're going to need, that are going to be important, like so that they're easy to retrieve, those memories. So waking up in the morning, like that's a beautiful time to start journaling. And I want to encourage you that if you're going to journal in the morning, do it before you look at email. When you look at email, you are falling under somebody else's agenda, somebody else's emergencies, and all they're trying to do is like pull your attention to them. So cut that and just be like, be in charge of your own attention and be in charge of your own focus and try to do your journaling before you do any email. But doing it before you go to bed is a beautiful time because that's going to be like the last thing that you remember. I don't know if any of you guys remember, like back in your college days, we would be studying up until we like went to bed. And it's like, that's the stuff that you're going to remember because it's like it sinks in. This is so funny. I have very realistic dreams and can be having a conversation or watching a TV show. So I really do have to be careful about the TV shows that I watch before I go to bed because that will play out in my mind. And I used to be an aerobic instructor. I used to teach spin classes. And a lot of times, like come home exhausted and I'd be like almost like replaying the spin class, in my dreams. Very real to life. I've had some very interesting, very, very interesting dreams. Sandy says that yes, she does journal, and yes, she's like always in the morning. But I'm talking about doubling down on it because right now, it's really difficult and it could be really easy for us to slip into some form of depression. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but just being very mindful of it because, well, we're at home. Our power has been taken away, partially part of our power, because we're being told to stay home. So all of these introverts who just absolutely love being at home and love the quiet, their space has been invaded by their family, but they're also, now that we're being told that we can't do something, and that is all the more reason why we want to go and do that. That's just human nature. That's all that is. But being able to make the best of staying home. So I'm really encouraging people to double up on their mindset. Doing that by journaling, I use an affirmation app called Think Up, and I listen to that every night, listening to positive podcasts, and I'll give you some more ideas. But just doubling up on your mindset so that when you see that you're starting to slip, whether you're slipping in your business, like, you're just having some negative thoughts, just feeling like you're in a dark place or you're a little edgy, just realize, when's the last time I journaled? When's the last time I listened to something positive? Have I been watching too much news? Have I been listening to friends and family who are very well-intentioned, but all they're talking about is the coronavirus and what's going on and that we should be scared? Okay, so control, you've heard me say this before, control from the neck up. Double down on your mindset. Let's see, number 3 is support. Who's helping you? And where do you need more support? And that could just be like in your business, like maybe your virtual assistant, maybe you've got a graphic designer, an online business manager. Just get them to help you even more. And with that, since we're talking sort of about work, is also, do you have to work 8 to 5? We can come up with different working hours now. I had shared this, I think, last week, or definitely shared it in my email. If you're not on my email list, you got to get on my email list, by the way, because that's where some like really good, yummy stuff, juicy content, juicy information, where I like totally spill the beans on things. But I shared that because 7 days is 7 days and there's no longer like that. It's almost like there isn't even like a day of rest because like churches are closed, bars and restaurants are closed. Everything. So every day just kind of like looks the same. So I decided that instead of trying to put my work into what I used to do is like just basically have 3 really good days of work. I've now stretched that 3 days and I've spread it out over 7 days. And the reason why I did that, it's not that I am working every day, but I'm not working all day every day. So there's big blocks of like downtime, like I'm going to go for an hour walk. But I like the routine. That's what it's like. I'm getting up at the same time. I'm meeting some friends on Zoom and we are working out. And then I just I shower, I start my day off. I like the routine. So deciding on like, if that helps you, having that as kind of a routine, put that into play. Let's see, another one that I have, and this is a big one that I recently came up with a couple of weeks ago, and I've been sharing it with my clients and also masterminds that I'm involved in, and I'm calling it my daily 3-2. There are 3 different areas that I'm doing 2 things in every single day, and I literally write this out in my journal. I write, today I am, I write mind, body, and business. And you're going to see this, like I'll give you a template in my Instagram. To my Instagram story tomorrow. So be sure to like be on the lookout for that. And I will make sure that I type what my Instagram account is. But 2 things that I can do for my mind, for my body, for my business. And I decide on these every morning. And some of those things for my mind are, because this is how like I'm taking control. This is how you can take more control and feel better. Remember, the more that we feel better, the better everything else is. Yes, there are some things that are out in the world that we can't control, but there's so much inside our homes and inside our bodies and inside our minds that we can control. So 2 things for your mind: meditation, journaling, because the mind is like really like all about, like the mindset. Listening to a positive audiobook, a positive, useful podcast, maybe something funny, picking up the phone and calling a really good friend who just like lifts you up and doesn't like drag you down. For me, that happens to be my sister. She's like, we talk so much throughout the day and it's just for like little things, and we share little memes, and it's just a funny daily conversation that goes on. My body. What 2 things can you do for your body? So before I give you any ideas, like type down below, give me some ideas that you're already like, like I could do those 2 things. I could do those 2 things for my mind. I could do those 2 things for my body. What 2 things would you like to do for your body? And I'll share with you some that are on my list. And again, I'm just encouraging you just to pick 2. That's it. Pick 2 things to do in each of these categories. So for my body, I think of going for a walk, exercising, stretching, drinking water. Like I have a goal, like, I want to drink 2 24-ounce bottles of water. That's something for my body. What are some of the other things? Those are usually the things that like make that list constantly. But type down below, like, let me know, like, what are 2 things that you would do for your mind or for your body? And so the same thing applies for your business. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only 2 things that I'm doing for my business, because actually there's usually more things that I am working on my business. But maybe there's something like it's due today. Like today I had to send an email for somebody who's asking me to be a guest expert, and gave her like the details. Here's the investment, and here's an idea. Here's also like an upsell idea. Yesterday I did a Facebook live, or I should call it like a live stream. It was a Facebook training for a town's recreation department. They've taken obviously their in-person recreation, brought it online to stay connected with their community. So that was something that I did for my business. So today on that list might be that follow-up call with the person who hired me, and touching base with everybody who actually attended the training. There was about 8 people. And just letting them know, like, hey, I'm still here for you. Time tracking could be for your business. Working on content, working on like monthly content or monthly emails that you're sending out to your list. Reading a particular business book that's on your list. Those are some of the things that you could put on your list. So here are the 2 things that I'm doing for my mind, 2 things that I'm doing for my body, and 2 things that I'm doing for my business. Because there's nothing like that feeling of checking things off. Like the next day I look at my journal and I'm like, yep, I did that. Yep, I did that. And there's something like that. There's, I think it's dopamine. It's a dopamine rush when you accomplish something. I think it's dopamine. I could totally be wrong. I'll have to like go and look that up. All those neurotransmitters, but that's what they're there for. I mean, so let's use our brains the way they were designed to work, and work with that brain so that it helps push us forward. Like, let's move the needle forward in our business, in our bodies. I joined Beachbody on demand and have been getting my sister to work out with me. And we're having a blast at 7 in the morning, by the way. But I was like telling her, I was like, by the time your fiance sees you again, he's not even going to recognize you, because we've been doing some great exercises, some great workouts in the morning, and it's just a fun way to start the day. I want to bring Sandy's answer up here. So Sandy's, this is about for her body, drinking water and an hour of yoga. Ooh, I love that. For her mind, she's got TED Talk. Tell me more about the TED Talk. Are you watching TED Talks and journaling, like journaling and for your business, Facebook Live and blog and a blog post. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been starting to sing some words here. It's something that's been happening for the past couple of weeks, by the way. And Sandy has been doing Facebook Lives. Yes, her and I sat down on Zoom, obviously, not in person, and just talked about doing Facebook Lives. I got to tell you, Facebook Live usage is up 50%. 50% now. That means there's a whole lot of people that are jumping on the internet and using lives. And I think, not only that town rec department on how they're staying connected with people, but also for business. And you know that I've been preaching this for a long time, to get out in front of people. And one of the things that I tell people, because, never worry about how many people are on your live right now. You're doing it for the replay. Because so many people watch the replay. I actually had a very shy woman who is she's very, very shy, and she once shared with me, because she's so shy, she never shows up for a live somebody that she wants to watch and follow. She never shows up live. She only watches a replay because she doesn't want to get like here I am saying, "Hi Sandy, how are you?" and having that conversation. Some people that are really shy don't want to have that sort of interaction. Let's see. What does she? Not a Facebook Live and blog every day, though. I totally understand. But I know you and I talked about having a little Facebook Live show. Okay. Let's see. Sandy says that I love the neuroscience too, so I just search the subject and watch what I can find. I'm always surprised by what I do find. Yes, I know, isn't it? It's just so fascinating. There's so much out there. So just to be very conscious about what you're watching, what information you're consuming, and literally and we're not talking just TV, but if you find yourself scrolling in the black hole of social media after a while, sometimes you just have to set timers for things, or what I heard somebody else say, that she would set a couple of she would turn on some music, and she would, while she was listening to 2 songs, that's when she was on any sort of social media. But that's how she just kind of times herself, so that we don't get sucked into that black hole. And then before you know it, it's wow, an hour's passed, 2 hours has passed. And again, being very conscious of, I want to be in charge of my time. I want to be in charge of what I'm focusing on. So I want to be focusing on good stuff that's healthy for me, healthy for my mind, because the better I feel, the better work I'm going to do. The better I feel, the more energy I have, the higher my vibe. That blog that I want to write, I'm going to do an amazing job writing that blog. It's just all just beautiful creativity will just flow from me. So your number one priority this week is to spoil yourself, double down on your mindset, get any support that you need, and answer that question, that daily question. What are 2 things that I'm going to do for my mind, 2 things that I'm going to do for my body, and 2 things that I'm going to do for my business today? I want you to do that every single day. And if you follow me on Instagram, I am going to show you, I will give you a blank one to use so that you can fill yours in. So check that out tomorrow morning. It's going to be, it'll be totally worth it. I will type down here right now what my Instagram is, so that you can find me easy. And there's that one also. So you can check that out. It'll be in my stories tomorrow. But also, if you haven't been following me on Instagram, all last week I did live streaming tips, and I think I'm probably going to add a couple more tomorrow. So that's all for today. You know how I like to keep this in under 30 minutes or less. But I hope you guys are doing fabulous. If there's any particular topics that you're like, Laurie-Ann, I really would love to hear more about this, as I'm growing my business from home or as I'm noticing some changes, some dips in business, I'm going to be like supplying that information. But right now, I knew that I needed to help you concentrate and take care of you as things have been progressing with this I just call it's a unique environment right now. It's a very unique environment. And so for the next couple of weeks, don't know exactly how long it's going to be, but let's take care of from the neck up so that we show up for our families, for our friends, and for our business and clients in tip-top condition. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.